I won't be speeding this video up, as I think it's important to see that this process is actually a lot slower than some of the videos I put out there. Right now I am painting goldenrod, and I have chosen to start by using sort of a red oxide. It's a combination of some colors, but basically it's red oxide. And I'm using that as my foundation to paint upon to give a somewhat realistic. I never go for total realism, but this is probably the closest I get to it. And I'm painting this as my first layer of the colors that will build upon each other. And the reason I chose this color is because a lot of the leaves had little brownish, reddish spotting on them, probably from some kind of insect infestation or something. But I picked this little piece of goldenrod right out of the pathway in the back and brought it into the studio so I'd have something reference-wise to look at other than a photograph. I find painting from real life much easier than trying to paint from a photograph, a still photograph. Although sometimes photographs are incredibly helpful for reference material, and you'll find those reference photographs in the image library on my Patreon site. It's growing. A few months ago, I know there were over 300, so I'm sure we're approaching 500 very quickly, and perhaps by the time that this video is released to the public, there will be more than that. So check that out. Check out the image library on the Patreon site, so you can have images for so many different things. And I usually try to get different perspectives, different close-ups or further away or something like that, so that there's a variety of the topic. And so it's helpful to have that, but for me personally, I prefer to have the thing that I'm going to paint right in front of me, because I can see nuances in the coloring and the shape and the depth, and it makes it, to me, more fun to have that real thing right there in the studio with me. So that's why it's sitting there on the canvas as I'm painting. And I'm painting right now, basically trying to get the shapes of those leaves to have that that free-flowing and almost mystical looking movement to them. And I'm only using the one color because right now my attention is all on the drawing of this plant. And if I was trying to look at the whole thing and switching colors from 1 minute to the other, because there's a light green here and a dark green there, it would just become cumbersome thought-wise. And painting, for me, is a very contemplative, peaceful journey. It's a process. And so acrylics are wonderful for that, because you have to build layers of color with acrylic to give them the best, I guess, quality or professionalism. You can't just go in and paint the object in one setting. It's something that needs to be built upon. I think you just get a better overall effect. And so beginning this painting with the red oxide, basically it's a red oxide. There might be a couple other colors added into that, but that was the main color. I am totally free to completely look at the shapes, the forms, the overlapping, and get the drawing part done without thinking much about the color of what I'm painting. And this red, being a warm color, will serve to, I don't know, make my cooler greens stand out more. And you'll see that during the second video. I'll come back in and show the progression of this as in steps, like, this is the first step of this part of the painting. And if you've checked out some of the earlier videos, you'll see how I arrived at the background that I'm painting on. So I'm going to go ahead and quiet myself and bring in some music so that you can just enjoy the rest of this process.